Over 120,000 jobs gone in just 6 months, and it's far from over. Unemployment is rising, trust is crumbling, and North America's economy is cracking. This isn't just politics, it's collapse in real time. Closed factories. Abandoned farms. Families barely holding on. Forget the 25% tariff on steel or 50% on copper. This is about survival, for workers and entire towns. For decades, the US and Canada thrived on $1.1 trillion in cross-border trade. Jobs, partnerships, shared futures. Then came 2025. The US hit Canadian goods with 25% tariffs. Canada responded, $155 billion in retaliation. Within months, exports tanked. Businesses panicked. People paid the price. Factories that once ran like clockwork are now ghost towns. Farms that fed millions are shutting down. A Ford F-150 once crossed the border 7 times before completion. Now, every crossing is taxed. Costs skyrocket, workers get laid off. And in the end, you pay, with higher prices and fewer choices. Trump's team promised more US jobs. But we got the opposite: broken supply chains, collapsing industries. Detroit, Windsor, and Oshawa lost 40,000 plus auto jobs in just 2 months. Canada. Worse, production dropped 23% in May. Car prices in the US jumped up to 20%, that's $6,000 more per vehicle. And it's not just autos. Agriculture is breaking down too. The US taxed Canadian wheat, beef, dairy. Canada stopped US oranges, corn, wheat. The fallout. Canada's agri-exports fell 18%. Saskatchewan farms collapsed. Iowa lost 2,000 contracts. One Quebec farmer dumped 30% of his milk. In North Dakota, corn's rotting in silos. It's devastating, and spreading. Processors, truckers, grocers, all collapsing together. Older workers are the most vulnerable. Factory veterans are watching their pensions vanish. Food, fuel, electricity, everything's more expensive. Inflation, 9% in the US Midwest, 12% in Ontario. Stocks crashed. Dow Jones fell 5.2% in 1 quarter. One Windsor worker lost $12,000 from her 401k, 3 months before retirement. Right finger if this breakdown helps you see the bigger picture, hit like, subscribe to the Untold Compass, and ring the bell. Drop a comment, what's happening where you live? And it's far from over. RBC warns, Canada could lose 180,000 jobs. The US, 145,000. GDP, shrinking. Canada down 0.7%, the US down 0.5%. Behind the numbers, broken dreams. Bankrupt small businesses, budget crises. A generation losing hope. And now, aerospace is getting hit hard. Trump's 25% auto tariff crushed GM, $1.1 billion lost in Q2. Stellantis lost €300 million. Ford's bleeding too. Trump cited national security under Section 232. But now, even North American-made cars are taxed unless they meet strict USMCA rules. UBS says each car from Canada, Mexico now costs $4,300 more. Asian imports, $6,250 more. Prices are soaring. Sales could drop by 2 million vehicles this year. Americans are taking on debt just to buy a car. Stellantis shut factories. 900 laid off, thousands of suppliers impacted. Car loans are drying up. Regional banks are in trouble. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, auto towns, are on the edge of recession. EV production is slowing at the worst time. Meanwhile, Canada adapted. Ottawa hit back with tariffs, launched, buy Canadian, pivoted to Europe, Asia, India. Exports rose. Local production grew. Consumer spending bounced back. Canada turned crisis into opportunity. The US kept stumbling. And Boeing, once a symbol of US strength, now falling behind. Airbus delivered 256 planes in 5 months. Boeing, just 131. China cancelled orders. Boeing jets are collecting dust. Beijing's retaliation, 125%, 145% tariffs. The EU filled the gap with a $2.1 billion Airbus boost. Boeing's cash flow is now negative. It's borrowing just to stay afloat. Why? Because 80% of Boeing's revenue is from exports. Killing free trade kills Boeing. It all started with Trump threatening 200% tariffs on aerospace parts from Mexico. That political tantrum wrecked supply chains. US aerospace towns lost 10,000 jobs. Now airlines pay more. Passengers pay more. Flights are being cut. National security is at risk. The Pentagon fears delays in critical military operations. Congress is alarmed. Defense contracts are being re-evaluated. Boeing is under pressure to prove loyalty. Meanwhile, Mexico builds quietly. Airbus soars. Canada adapts. And America? Caught in the storm it created. The biggest losers? Everyday Americans. If this hit home, subscribe to the Untold Compass for deeper stories behind the headlines. Like, share, and comment. We're all in this together.